They say the King of New York is back tomorrow, April 15th. Listen, you know I don't address nothing. I'm never going to address nothing. Y'all believe what y'all want to believe. That's a half a ticket right there.
6ix9ine's situation just keeps spiraling out of control, and his rivals aren't missing a beat to roast him, especially Chief Keef. Feels like we're back in 2018 with all this drama. If you've been watching closely, you've probably noticed he's been rocking way less bling lately, and now we know exactly why. The IRS came through heavy, seizing his luxury items and putting them up for auction, putting his money troubles on full blast. After all the trolling, beefing, and pretending to be rich, no one on the streets is shedding a tear for him. For months, people were side-eyeing his videos, wondering why his signature iced-out chains were missing. Then, boom. The truth hit hard when the IRS started auctioning off his jewelry. And this ain't just some small hiccup. Turns out his assets have been getting snatched up since last year. That means his debt is way deeper than anyone thought. And with auctions still going down, it's crystal clear. Things are looking real bad for him. 6ix9ine built his whole image on flashing cash and flexing like he was untouchable. He never missed a chance to show off his stacks, always clowning others for not having his kind of money. He made it loud and clear. Money ran his whole life. Where he lived, what he drove, how he rolled. It was all about the dollars. But with all the chaos surrounding him, that money wasn't gonna last forever. Fresh out of jail, he scored a massive multi-million-dollar record deal, like serious money waiting for him. The catch? After all the legal mess, betrayals, and drama, a lot of folks just weren't feeling him anymore. Fans who once hyped him up weren't exactly lining up for a new 6ix9ine project. His name, once buzzing everywhere, wasn't hitting the same, and he knew it. Right after getting out of jail, 6ix9ine dropped a few tracks that popped off. Gooba and Trolls blew up. But let's be real, it was mostly because folks were curious about his comeback. As time passed, though, people just stopped caring about the gimmicks. His Tattletales album managed to pull in 53,000 units in its first week. But after that, his next project, La Yenda Viva, didn't even have its first week numbers reported, like it dropped and no one noticed. And then there's Blackballed. Wait, what? Most people didn't even know that album existed. Seriously, who actually listened to it? Even 6ix9ine himself thinks the industry turned its back on him. Desperate to stay in the spotlight, he kept stirring up drama online. But the problem? None of it was bringing in cash. And that's a major issue when you're swimming in debt. Back in 2022, rumors started flying about his money problems. But it wasn't just talk. His own manager, Wack100, straight up said 6ix9ine was broke and barely getting by. Wack even revealed he had to send him money just so he could fill up his gas tank. Wild, right? 6ix9ine even told the court he was struggling just to keep his head above water, but most folks thought he was just capping. Turns out, he wasn't lying. Around that time, he got slapped with a lawsuit for skipping out on a $75,000 security bill. And to make matters worse, even his own lawyers said he owed them money. Talk about being in a tight spot. Then there was the whole situation with Steve Will Do It, the YouTuber and streamer who was actually helping him out financially. Steve claimed 6ix9ine straight up told him he was broke and needed cash. So what did Steve do? He lined up a sweet $2 million deal with the streaming platform Rumble. The job? All 6ix9ine had to do was hop online, play video games for an hour once a week. Easy money, right? But instead of following through, 6ix9ine took the bag and ghosted. Didn't show up, didn't stream, nothing. He had the chance to make easy money, but still fumbled it. 6ix9ine wasn't using that cash for bills. He was out here splurging on luxury bags for women just to flex and make his ex jealous. But since he never held up his end of the Rumble deal, he ended up owing them a whopping $2 million, stacking yet another huge debt onto his already growing pile. People online weren't letting him off easy either. One user even commented, he got $2 million to play games once a week for an hour and couldn't even do that? Why can't I get even a quarter of that? That just shows how badly he fumbled such an easy payday. And just when you thought it couldn't get worse, boom, more lawsuits. Turns out, his crew accidentally robbed some publicists, and now they're suing him for $1 million in restitution. The man just can't catch a break. Things got so bad that 6ix9ine even admitted he might have to file for bankruptcy just to cover it all. What really pushed everything over the edge was when 6ix9ine got slammed with a massive $10 million lawsuit from a stripper named Alexis. Back in 2021, he was at the club when someone called him a rat. Instead of brushing it off, he grabbed a champagne bottle and threw it, but he missed the target and ended up hitting Alexis in the head. She had to rush to the ER and get staples to close the cut. Serious stuff. Alexis didn't let it slide. She sued him for causing major injury. But here's the kicker. 6ix9ine didn't even bother showing up to court. So, of course, the judge ruled against him. Another huge hit to his wallet. And if that wasn't enough, the IRS was still on his neck. Reports say he owed around $10 million in unpaid taxes. Add that to everything else, and 6ix9ine was staring down over $20 million in debt. Things reached a breaking point in 2024 when the feds raided his Florida home. Witnesses said agents stormed in and towed away several of his cars. Talk about a fall from grace. Safe to say, the 6ix9ine era of flexing and showing off is officially done. You already know the internet wasn't about to let this slide. The same way 6ix9ine used to clown other rappers for being broke, people are now flipping it right back on him, and he's getting roasted everywhere. The memes, the jokes, the comments, it's brutal. One person joked, 6ix9ine joining Squid Games to pay his debt, while another said, if Trippie Redd buys some of his stuff, I'm gonna fall out my chair laughing. Now that would be poetic justice, especially since 6ix9ine threw Trippie under the bus during their beef. And of course, Chief Keef couldn't pass up the chance to add some disrespect. After all, 6ix9ine spent years coming at Keef and his crew, even reportedly sending people after him. According to news outlets, Keef sees this whole mess as karma for 6ix9ine's past, saying things are just heating up. This beef stretches way back to 2018, and it was messy from the jump. It all kicked off when 6ix9ine got into it with Chief Keef's cousin, Tato, over Cuban Doll. Back then, Cuban Doll was dating Tato, but appeared in a video with 6ix9ine, which didn't sit right with Tato. Things spiraled fast when a video surfaced of 6ix9ine and Tato arguing on FaceTime, with Tato warning him, "I handle people." This whole saga's been pure chaos from the start. 6ix9ine wasn't done stirring the pot. He took things to a whole new level in May 2018, firing off direct threats at Chief Keef and Lil Reese. Trying to prove he wasn't scared, he pulled up to Chicago's infamous O Block at 3 a.m., acting like he was fearless. But footage later exposed the truth. He went when the streets were empty and nobody was around. While 6ix9ine was playing tough online, Chief Keef and Lil Reese were out in Chicago actively looking for him. But word started spreading that 6ix9ine was moving with heavy police protection, which only fueled the drama even more. Things got real in June 2018 when Chief Keef was targeted in New York. 6ix9ine denied having anything to do with it, but an investigation ended up linking him to the incident. Yeah, things were heating up fast. And just when you thought it couldn't get messier, 6ix9ine flew out Keef's baby mama, Slim Danger, took her shopping, and filmed the whole thing. To make it worse, he had her on camera calling Keef a deadbeat. The disrespect was off the charts. He was throwing shots from every angle. Even after all that chaos, 6ix9ine just couldn't stop. He kept taking shots, calling Chief Keef names, trolling him after his house got burglarized, and in a wild move was caught on video bragging about putting a hit on Tato. That reckless moment? Yeah, it ended up being crucial evidence in the RICO case that sent 6ix9ine to prison. He really played himself. Fast forward to now, Chief Keef is the one having the last laugh. After years of disrespect, trolling, and alleged hits, the tables have completely turned, and 6ix9ine's the one getting clowned. So how did he react with all eyes on him? He hopped on Instagram Live and completely lost it. Instead of addressing real questions, he started deflecting, calling his own fans broke for paying rent? Like, seriously? At least they have a place to live? He tried to act like losing his jewelry and cars wasn't a big deal, but you could tell it was eating at him. The frustration was all over his face. He kept downplaying the situation, but let's be real, this isn't just about some missing chains. He's drowning in serious money problems, and no amount of tough talk is covering that up. 6ix9ine came clean about not filing taxes from 2020 to 2023, even though he claimed he paid over 62% in taxes. Now, the IRS is all over him, snatching up his assets left and right. It's like every time you turn around, something else is getting seized. Trying to explain it away, he blamed New York's high tax rates for his money troubles, saying he moved to Florida to dodge the financial hit under the Biden administration. He even tried to justify his spending habits by name-dropping Donald Trump, and went as far as calling the IRS a gang that's after people's money. But let's be honest, none of that excuses the fact that he's neck-deep in debt. His case is still wide open, and despite the feds raiding his place and hauling off his valuables, swears up and down that he's not broke. But if that's true, why is the government out here auctioning off his chains? The math just isn't adding up. People in the comments are relentless, dragging 6ix9ine with no mercy. And instead of laying low, he just keeps making things worse for himself. One person even said, "You don't need to be a tax expert or in some special tax bracket to see he mismanaged his money." Now he's stuck in this embarrassing mess for everyone to see. The internet is having a field day. But just when you think it couldn't get more chaotic, it does. Barely a month ago, 6ix9ine turned around and tried to sue LA Fitness for $1 million. Like, really? It's one thing to go broke, but suing a gym for cash? That's next-level desperation. He's clearly scrambling to find money any way he can. Let's be real, this lawsuit probably isn't going anywhere, but the fact he's even filing it shows just how deep in trouble he is. This is the same guy who used to flex million-dollar watches, and now he's out here chasing a gym bag. You seriously can't make this stuff up. With the IRS snatching his jewelry, the internet roasting him, and Chief Keef chilling while watching it all unfold, it's safe to say 6ix9ine's fall from grace is something nobody expected to be this wild. The real question now is, where does 6ix9ine go from here? Can he pull off a comeback after all this? Or is this really the beginning of the end? With lawsuits piling up, public meltdowns, and his money drying up, you have to wonder, has he finally realized that trolling can only get you so far? The wild antics that once kept him in the spotlight are now catching up with him fast. What do you think? Is there any way for him to turn this around? Or is it a wrap? Drop your thoughts below.